I mean, there's no disputing it now. This is coming out right now as we're doing the video. You have 3 separate sources of the fires post-explosion. Obviously, it's a coordinated attack. You're not going to have 3 accidental, enormous fertilizer bombs detonate in the same day by happenstance. So within a few hours of a multiple explosion event at a port in Iran, the Jerusalem Post posts this: explosion at Iranian port severely impacts regime. This location and port are extremely critical to the survival of the Iranian regime. That is as crystal clear as you're going to get, because there's only one place that is reporting it that way, and that's in Israel, which means, who do you think did it? So we're going to be reviewing footage of the explosion throughout this video, but just FYI, we're probably going to look at 25 to 30 different angles or videos of this event. And so they're going to be sprinkled throughout the video, but the last segment, we go through a bunch in a row. So stick around for the whole video. All right, Jesse on Fire, welcome back to the channel. So this is a crazy, crazy event that we are going to talk about right now. The news is still breaking on this, but there have been multiple massive explosions at key ports in Iran. And there are amazing videos of it. And I mean amazing in terms of they caught it perfect, like in these videos, because they came from a container in the port. And so you actually see that there is a fire prior to it exploding, which means people had the opportunity to pull their phones out and they're filming the fire initially, and then all of them capture when it goes boom. It is wild. The original reporting was that there were, you know, a dozen dead, 800 injured or something like that. And now the death toll's already up to 40 in the initial explosion. And there's just now new information that a second explosion happened at a different port. So we're going to look at all of that, get into the details, look at all the videos. And, you know, of course, the big question is, what caused the explosions? You know, if it's one explosion, easy to say maybe it was an accident. Of course, the timing of it is extraordinarily suspect, because the Iran regime and the United States are just getting into talks about us loosening sanctions in exchange for them shutting down their nuclear weapons program again. And right as talks start, boom, key port explode, massive explosion that cripples their ability to do a lot of import-export business. And obviously, people are speculating that Israel was behind this. And I'm going to tell you why Israel has all but confirmed that it was them, okay? And I'm not saying that they just were like, yeah, it was us. But just wait until I show you the way that this is being covered in Israel, because they're not trying to keep it a secret, you know? And, yeah, that is what we are going to do. And we'll talk about the potential you know, fallout from this, and you know, and also just in terms of the timing and who did it. You guys know that when October 7th happened, that was right at the beginning of Israel getting set up to potentially do some deal with Saudi Arabia. I remember that it was like there was a Saudi Arabia and Israel deal in negotiations, and then boom, October 7th, then they respond in Gaza, and the whole thing fell apart. And so this is absolutely a strategy that Iran and Israel implement against each other. If they don't want a deal to go through, they can set a chain of events in motion that would potentially nuke that deal. Pun not intended, but you know what I mean? So, all right. So fires continue to burn as Iran probe deadly explosion at key port. You know what? I am going to do this. I'm going to start you guys off by showing you a video of it, because obviously I would assume you guys are like me and you want to see it. So let's take a look. Okay. So, I mean, here, I didn't even realize this is supposed, look at this. So Cheryl with a bunch of Israel flags, she posts another viewpoint of the explosion in Iran. I swear I could watch this all day and never get tired of it. So that's the sentiment over there, you know. Okay, watch this. And believe me, there are actually better angles in this one. Bruh. Look at that. Yeah. So that's what we're talking about. And again, we'll look at some much better angles of it shortly, but I want to give you some details on, on what's out so far. And in the post that has multiple angles of the explosion and then the aftermath, the accompanying post says the following: just a few hours after the explosion at Bandar Abbas, there was another explosion in the not-so-distant Shahid Raji port in Iran. There's no confirmation the explosions are linked, but the coincidence is suspicious. In the videos, you can see how the house starts with fire mist from ammonium nitrate, often used as fertilizer, then a fire, then the main explosion. Shahid Raji port is Iran's largest port, handling 85% of loading and unloading containers. It's also the second largest container port in the entire Middle East region. So again, we'll look at these videos in a second after we talk about the explosion, but there you go. You got 2 explosions, and we're going to look at both of them after we outline kind of what the reporting is. Actually, I changed my mind. I'm going to show it to you right now because I like looking at explosions, so I would imagine you guys are excited to see these also. So let's look at these. Now I'm doing something for you guys, so why don't you do something for me by liking this video and subscribing to my channel. Let's get a little bit of context of what exactly happened, and then we'll look at the cell phone videos, or start looking at them, because there's a lot. Let's listen to Al Jazeera cover it, actually.
A flash of orange smoke, then a powerful blast. Flames swept through Shahid Raja'i port, one of Iran's most important maritime hubs. From the air, Bandar Abbas is shrouded in thick black smoke. On the ground, emergency teams sift through debris as residents flee the blast site. The cause of the blast remains unclear. Iran's interior minister has been dispatched to investigate.
Our first priority is saving lives. Of course, the fire must be completely extinguished. I've given orders that all the needed resources should be mobilized.
Iran's state oil company was quick to deny any damage to its nearby refineries or pipelines, saying the explosion was unrelated to its infrastructure. Bandar Abbas sits just across the Gulf from Oman's capital, Muscat, where high-stakes diplomacy was unfolding between Iran and the U.S. Though Iranian state media blame negligence and the improper storage of flammable materials, the timing coinciding with nuclear negotiations has raised eyebrows. Israel swiftly denied any involvement. In Muscat, Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi, who led the talks, sought to keep focus on diplomacy.
The atmosphere of the talks was serious. Both sides showed a willingness to make progress. However, sometimes will alone's not enough. Differences might be so significant that a resolution can't be reached. What I mean is that political will alone doesn't guarantee success. We're serious, we're hopeful that we can move forward quickly.
With a new round of talks expected next week in Europe, Tehran is now scrambling on 2 fronts: diplomatic negotiations abroad and mounting questions at home about what or who sparked the explosion at one of its most strategic ports.
Gee, I don't know. What do you guys think? Hey, what do you guys think? Right in the middle of the most important negotiation between Iran and the United States, boom, that happens. I wonder who did it. Could it possibly be the country that literally posted an article immediately saying that that port is critical to the Iranian regime? I don't know. Could be. They're all, we didn't do it. I believe them. I believe them, you guys. I believe them. The only reason I'm saying it so openly is I think they want everyone to know they did it. Why would they not? They can't publicly say they did it because that would be an act of war. Okay. It's the exact same. Hey, who do you guys think got the Nord Stream pipeline? Is there any misunderstanding there? Like, of course the United States did it. I don't think that's even, I think everybody knows that. Like, literally everybody knows that. But there's no one, we don't want to admit it. And they don't want to admit it because they don't want to escalate to war. Because if they admit, okay, yeah, the United States destroyed this piece of critical infrastructure that was a central, critical piece of our export of our energy from Russia to Germany, etc., and they destroyed it, well, that is as an overt act of war as there is, which means they need to escalate to war. which they definitely do not want to do, and we know that. So it's a high-stakes chess game, and this is exactly the same thing. It's exactly the same thing. This could be a massive escalation towards war because Israel is literally saying we are toppling the Iranian regime with this attack. Indirectly. I'll show you that. But let's look at this. All right, so here's another one.
بگو گازه بره بگو بره داره میترکه اوه یا علی نترکه
You are not far enough away.
همه خارج شن
Yeah, so those guys that were running away are almost certainly dead. This is afterwards. Look at that. Oh my gosh. The destruction of this. I mean, that is, look at how far away that is from the original, like you can see where the explosion is. Look how far away this is. Look at, oh wait, look at, that's a car right there. For point of reference of how the length of this distance, look at the size of that car right there. And the destruction goes way beyond where the cameraman is. So you're talking, I mean, this is like a devastating event for them. That is a serious attack right there. Just total destruction. Now, I'm not super familiar with the function and logistics of ports, but from what it looks like, their ability to use that port is going to be severely impacted for a very long time. I mean, that's just like infrastructure cash out. Oh my God, look at how big the fire is too. Okay, so yeah, so that shows the immediate aftermath. This is, wait, so there are 1, 2, 3, 4 different fires. Okay, so apparently this is a much more widespread attack than they're reporting, because this image right here is clearly showing at least 3, maybe 4 separate sources of the smoke. And to put in perspective how big this is, look at the containers down here. Okay, you guys know how big each of those containers are. They're huge. And look at the size in comparison to these fires. You know, if you go over here, each of these little boxes is a building. So this is wild, man. Yeah, so okay, so they're saying so one detonates here, and one detonates here. So that's obviously 3 separate explosions at the port. Wow. Okay, so this is obviously coordinated. I don't know how could they be saying, I don't even understand the official story. I don't understand how the official story could have even started as maybe this was an accident. If you have 3 detonations at the same port on the same day. Oh, we had 3 separate accidental fires that turned into massive, fertilizer bombs. Come on. Obviously, this is an attack. Now, there are a bunch more videos of the event, but real quick, let's go through what's being reported, and I'll tell you why I believe Israel is taking credit for this, and then we're going to look at some more of those videos. So, the death toll has risen to at least 40. More than 800 people were injured in the explosion at the Shahid Rajaei port, the largest in Iran. The death toll from the massive explosion at an Iranian port rose to 40 on Sunday, with more than 800 people injured. It's going to go up from there too. That's an enormous explosion. Several people are still missing. They're dead. The blast Saturday evening at Iran's largest and most important shipping port resulted in a major fire which spread and caused destruction in the surrounding areas. Iran's health ministry, citing airborne toxic pollutants, declared a state of emergency in the province and instructed people to stay indoors. So listen, at the end of the day, what they were saying was that it was some kind of fertilizer in a container, but they're like, oh, but the timing is whatever. I mean, keep in mind, Israel, they did the operation where they got the cell phones, the pagers to all the people in Hezbollah and then detonated them all at once. I mean, that is a gangster ass move right there in terms of like warfare. It's brilliant. And if you think that, oh, I wonder if they would be able to smuggle a container filled with massive explosions into 2 ports in Iran, like that's not going to be challenging for them too. They're one of the most sophisticated intelligence and militaries in the world. So last year, Shahid Rajeh Port handled 85% of Iran's shipping container traffic, as well as a large portion of its oil, according to the Port and Maritime Organization. Now, the reason why I tell you that I am basically certain that this was Israel is because look at how the Jerusalem Post is covering this. Explosion at Iranian port severely impacts regime, Iran expert says. This location and port are extremely critical to the survival of the Iranian regime. Okay. The Jerusalem Post, obviously an Israeli outlet, is covering it like that. They are all but saying this is an attack on that regime. They're not going to be able to maintain their power as a regime without this port. So, I mean, guys, I don't think it's a stretch to say that that is exactly what this article clearly means. They're claiming responsibility for it without having to declare war against Iran, right? It's not like there's any mystery about who did this, right? I mean, at least no official confirmation, but to me, that seems essentially like them taking credit for it. You know what I mean? But again, so that port handled 85% of Iran's shipping container traffic, as well as a large portion of its oil, according to the Port and Maritime Organization. All right, so, and look at this. 5 years ago, Israel launched a cyber attack that hampered operations at the Shahid Rajeh port as part of its long-running shadow war with Iran. Israeli officials did not respond to a request for comment on Saturday's explosion. Yeah. And Iran's going to go ahead and do an investigation. It's like, I don't think that you need to investigate anything. I think you know exactly who did it. But at the same time, guess what? Israel knows exactly how the funding and planning for the October 7th attack happened also. Damn, Iran. It's just, I mean, honestly, it's just, it's like a shadow war where they don't have to actually declare outright war, but they're attacking each other all the time. You know, they are mortal enemies. And here's the other part. Take a look at this video real quick. This one, you get a real good look. See, right when it explodes, they lose the camera because the impact of that is going so much further than what the blast radius like appears to be. And then check this one out. Humans are so crazy, man. Humans are so crazy. Like, think about that. We do this to each other on purpose. You know, in regular life, if you have some kind of conflict with your neighbor or with someone that you know, even punching them is completely not allowed. Like, you're not allowed to even punch a person. But for some reason, as soon as you get to the government level and the state level, you can just go and detonate missiles on people's homes, you know, put your snipers and just blow a person's face up because they're on the other team. detonate, you know, I mean, in World War II, we would just decimate entire cities on purpose. It's just bananas. So this account is saying that the guy that took this video did not survive. They're saying that this guy actually died. They found his cell phone next to his corpse and then pulled this video from it.
بگو گازه بره بگو بره داره میتره که اوه 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 یا علی نتره که اینجا همه خارج شن
That's just sad, dude. Here's another one. There's just so many videos. It's just crazy. Look at that one. They said the entire port is about to burn down. Wait. Another explosion perspective. Chemical containers in the... Oh, wow. That was like in a building super far away. Oh my gosh. Look at that. Look at that. Oh my gosh. That is unbelievable. Look at that. Just leveled. And you see the people walking there at the very beginning? Look at right there. Over here. The size of that. Oh, wow. That might be the best angle. That's insane. Wow. Oh my gosh, man. Another one. There's another one. Whoops. Wait, when is this? Oh, that's from 2024. This is crazy. Oh my gosh. I mean, they're just endless. There are so many videos of this. This is the one we've seen. That's the one we've seen. Oh my gosh. This is so crazy. I mean, it's just, it's unbelievable how many angles of this there are. Wait, this one says new footage has been published from the first moments of the fire that led to the explosion. Oh. Okay, so the fire starts there. It's burning, 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 burning. Burning. Now it's going to go. Boom. Yep. Another one. Oh my God. This is insanity. Oh, never mind. That's the Beirut one. But here's more security footage. Damn, did you see that shockwave? I mean, this is unbelievable. All right. That's probably enough. Love you guys. Bye-bye.